morning. Saturday morning here in Fort Worth, Texas. So, last 2 nights I've been getting up at 3:30 in the morning, and couldn't get back to sleep. So I read my scriptures, and I read Psalms first this morning, and I don't know. It's kind of interesting when you're reading Psalms first. I seem to get more out of it. And then I read Genesis. And in Genesis, for the first time, what was it, 22 days in a row, plus the 16 times I read this before, I picked up that the land, the nation of Edom was already established, which means that Esau was a king already. Esau was a king now that Jacob had come back, who's now Israel, right? And so, I don't know, that changes that whole dynamic about everything. Now, Jacob's facing a king in his brother already, and I guess I should call him Israel now, right? And so, like, people are like, why do you read the Bible? Why do you read the same chapter every day? Well, because I didn't get this first 22 times I read it. For 21 times I read it. So now it's like, it changed everything, right? So his brother's a king already, all right? Yeah, I mean, you can't just think because you heard it one time you got it. You might have to help people raising kids, right? You got to tell them something more than once, right? It's just human nature. Anyway, so we've been doing this. This is so amazing, right? So we've been at this conference yesterday, and we all day today. Yesterday was pretty amazing, actually. I'm working out this strategy, going by the average numbers, right? And it didn't work. It was, the numbers were not good. I'm like, oh. And then they changed the structure today, okay, for promotion. And now all it does by doing the new structure, just give people more incentive to get their license and build. But it was really fun, crazy, because I'm working at it from one side, one angle, right? Basically the on the ground, the minutia of the business, and Xuan Wen, the head coach guy, is talking big picture, right? And we both ended up at the same point at the same time. Him coming from drawing the vision, and me coming from working it the little details, uh, and come to the same point at the same time. But what I came to realize is that talking big picture is a lot sexier and a lot more appealing than grinding out the little details like I did, right? And you know, the big picture will attract people, right? The vision, right? Which is what the apostle does, right? He's always talking this grandiose vision, right? And then we had this, there's this whole thing about, not focusing on money, making money, right? Well, that's why you got a bunch of broke Christians, right? And but here's the thing, you can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? If you put your faith, if you put Christ in everything that you do, right? And I need to work on this more, but put God, pray, because this is what happens. I was telling this to my new campaigner. God likes us to plan, and like you want to achieve something, and you're here, achieve something more down the road, and you don't really know the whole path to you need to follow. God will fill in the gaps in what you know, and he did that exactly what he did it, right? And what we needed to solve was the motivation to get people to actually do what they're supposed to do, get their license, and produce. On average, it's like 1 in 10 will actually get their license and produce, right? Well, with this new structure of things, it makes in the promotion guidelines, it makes it easier to get promoted, which means you get a higher commission and gives you more incentive to actually get your license. So that was exciting, right? But what was really exciting is understanding, that God wants us to be prosperous, right? Financially, not just in wisdom. He wants that too, right? And working out that balance between, the studying the Word and producing. You got to walk and chew gum, man. You gotta, Anyway, but you got to pour into things, and otherwise you miss things. Like I missed that Esau was already king. Edom was already established, right? In chapter 32 of Genesis. All right. Have a great Saturday.